Okay. All right. Let's move to 2012 now. A lot of things have happened in the country this year. Um, we've moved past the civil war, but a lot of Nigerians are saying we're still fighting a war in Nigeria. Let's look at what's happened in the last couple of years.
Yeah,
Boko Haram killings,
yeah.
and recently the killings in Port Harcourt. What is happening in Nigeria?
That's a very good question. It's a tragedy of monumental proportions. And I would go as far as to say that in the last few years, Nigerians, and excuse me for saying this, but I'm always candid and frank, and I hope you're not offended or that your viewers are not offended, that we've become beasts. Nigerians have lost all sense of decency when it comes to the issues of human life. Nigerians don't value human life anymore. We used to be amongst the most compassionate, decent, God-fearing people on this planet. Kind-hearted, full of compassion, and ready to forgive. It's not so anymore. We've become hardened. We don't care. I wrote something a while back in which I said that if you put, God forbid, if a bomb were to go off at the National Stadium in Abuja and 100,000 people were killed, within a month, let's say 2 weeks, possibly a month on a good day, and I'm being optimistic, Nigerians will talk about it, lament, whine, cry, go to funerals and say, oh, what a pity. Well, after a month, they won't remember anymore. There's something wrong with us. And I look at it. First, Boko Haram killings. Over and over again, people are killed in churches whilst they're worshipping their God. Churches are blown up. Till today, nobody has been caught, nobody has been convicted of anything. Okay? Muslims are killing Muslims. Muslims are killing Christians. Christians are killing Muslims. When I knew that we had lost it was when those Boko Haram killings kept on going. The government was not doing much, was at the same time talking, saying they were dialoguing and so on and so forth. And even to the extent that our president said that these are his siblings and therefore he cannot open the guns on them. I knew there was something wrong with us. Now, it's not good luck, Jonathan, as such. It's symptomatic of the Nigerian persona, what we have become. I'm blaming all of us. I'm not indicting any individual now. There's something wrong. Because I've never heard of such a thing, where thousands of your people have been killed over a period of 2 years, systematically killed, people worshipping God, people in mosques, people in their homes, newspaper houses, United Nations offices and so on and so forth, being slaughtered like chicken. Nobody is caught, nobody is convicted of anything. We haven't turned the guns on them and we are labeling such people as our siblings and so on and so forth. And it just goes on and on and on. Okay, that's when I knew there was a problem. Now, when I knew we had a major problem was not even at that point. I'm a Christian. And naturally what happened shook me. What Boko Haram was doing shook me to the marrow. What the North has become, and I've lived in the North for 10 years, has shaken me to the marrow, okay? But what shocked me more than anything else was this. About a year ago, I watched, my friend El Rufai told me that, look, that it is not only the Muslims, the Islamists, I call them, there's the Muslim fundamentalists that are doing these killings, that Christians are doing the same thing in some places. I couldn't believe it. Until I went on YouTube and I watched a video of Berom youths. I wrote about this. Berom youths that went to a Muslim prayer ground after they had finished their Eid al-Fitr festival, and they slaughtered them in cold blood. Do you know what? It didn't stop there. They roasted their flesh and they ate the flesh in front of the video cameras, speaking their language and laughing and eating the flesh. It's on YouTube. They were eating the flesh of these Muslims. And they call themselves Christians. That's when I knew that we have become beasts. Now, I'm not going to say that, oh, well, I'm not a Berom, and maybe they're not Christians. Maybe they're animists. They're Nigerians. And they were killing, roasting, and eating, cannibals. And they were laughing and joking about it. And it was a very serious thing. There were thousands of them doing this. I saw this on YouTube. What has Nigeria become? It didn't stop there. After that, not too long ago, A lot happened between, but let me just cut the chase and get to the point. Not too long ago, you had Mubi. Look at what happened. They said something to do with student union, something to do with, well, only God knows. But whatever the cause, you had a situation where armed men went into a polytechnic, found the hostels, called the names of 46 of those children, marched them out, and executed them mafia style. And it has become the norm. People will talk about it. I remember I wrote something on it at the time that this is shocking. I mean, this takes it to another level. Nobody seemed to be interested in talking about that anymore after a few days, 4 or 5 days. Before that one, let me just go back a step. People were worshipping in a church in Okene. Forget about the bombs. The bombs are bad enough. At least it's a quick death, yes? Okay, bomb, quick death. God forbid. People went into a church in Okene. This was about, I think about a month or 2 months ago. People were worshipping there. They turned off all the lights and they just started spraying machine gun fire on all the church, killed so many people that were worshipping there. Nigerians forgot after 2 weeks. Okay. Going back again to the Mubi killings took place. 4 days after the Mubi killings, 4 or 5 days, the world is now told, not just Nigerians this time, and that's the difference. Some young boys went to go and do whatever. Some say steal, some say collect a debt, some say whatever the reasons. Something to do with a debt and a computer and a mobile phone. And what happens? They leave the place and they are set upon, called thieves, uli. And they are set upon by a mob. I watched that video. The people in that mob were not working class, hungry, brutalized people. You had middle class people there. You had people that were obviously educated the way they were speaking. They were enjoying it. They not only killed these people, they butchered them. And they put tires on them. They took their time. Police came, nothing happened. The whole crowd enjoyed it. They tortured them, stripped them naked, tortured them, brutalized them, burnt them alive amidst laughter and celebration. It was like they were killing a goat. It was like a sacrifice. This was on video and was shot out to the whole world. This time round, unfortunately, for us, the whole world saw it. BBC, CNN, everywhere. Spoke about it more than we did in Nigeria. A few noises here and there, oh, catch the people. They may catch a few. But what causes us to behave like this? That's the question. There's something wrong. And you know something? We're all hypocrites. You know why? I'll tell you why. You and I know what happened in Port Harcourt happens every day all over this country. It's nothing to do with the Ijaws or nothing to do with the hardened people from the Niger Delta. Not at all. It happens in Lagos. It happened in Abuja about 3 weeks ago. People, and it's this thing that Nigerians have, that if you accuse a person, that's another problem. As long as somebody is accused of anything, whether it be corruption, whether it be stealing a mobile phone, whether it be stealing business, that person is guilty until proven innocent, as far as Nigeria is concerned. We kill and we crucify, we assume the worst about everybody. So it's very easy. If somebody, you just say you have a problem with somebody, oh, he's a thief, everybody says and butchers that person without asking questions. There's something very wrong with us. And I don't know of any other country on this planet that such things happen. Used to happen in Europe many years ago, but not anymore.
Isn't this a failure of the police system or the judiciary?
It's a failure of the Nigerian people. It's not a question of police. It's not even a question of the leadership. The problem that, I have to say that the leadership, if the leadership were firm in trying to, and I'm not talking about just this, I'm talking about every single administration. It's a systematic thing. Cultism was introduced into the universities during General Babangida's time, okay, in the mid 80s or whatever it is. Since then, our academic institutions have gone to the dogs, okay, and this taught heartless killing, wickedness. It's almost sociopathic tendency to shed blood. Let me give you another example. Plane crashes. We had a situation where we had, unfortunately, Dana crash the other day, okay? The plane crashed, people died. An inquest was on, people were not buried yet. An inquest was on, some people went to stop the inquest in order to ensure that the plane starts flying again. I mean, people hadn't even been buried. So, and what I'm saying is that this is an issue that really does border on some kind of pathology. And I think what we need as a nation is a lot of prayer. We need deliverance. We need to start to reestablish the values that we all grew up with. That is to value human life. Stop viewing people like chickens and stop crucifying people at the drop of a hat. Oh, so and so did this, therefore he must this. And you know something, it's also to do, if you want me to just go, it's also to do with this. Nigerians feel they don't have any hope. So the hatred has built up within them. 80% graduate unemployment in this country. 70% of people living below the poverty line. What hope is there really? You go to church and pray from morning to night into the mosques. At the end of the day, you come home. And I'll tell you, 8 out of 10 Nigerian graduates are not going to get a job. So everybody's frustrated, everybody's fed up, everybody's is hurting. And that is also part of it. But for me, I think the most important thing is that we need to build up the justice system, as you said. We need to strengthen our police. We need to start inculcating real values. And the most important value is, that Christian virtue, which is that, look, love your brother, as you love yourself. That's the greatest commandment of all, apart from loving God. If we can only show that little bit of compassion. And there's something else that I ought to mention. Edmund Burke said something, and it's something Nigerians need to say 100 times every morning, and then 100 times before they sleep at night, if they really want to change. You know what it was? He said the hottest place in hell is reserved for those that keep silent when evil is being perpetuated. The problem we have in this country is essentially this. Evil is being perpetuated against your brother, or sister, whether it be the evil of persecution, whether it be the evil of murder, whether it be the evil of shedding blood, whether it be the evil of whatever, abuse of power. It's happening, but you're not prepared to say a word. You don't care, as long as it doesn't happen to you or your family members. Some people don't even mind if it's their family members, as long as it's not them. That is how ridiculous the thing has got to in this country. And I believe the way forward is to begin to accept and understand the power of Burke's principle, that where anything is going wrong, we need to stand up and say, no, this is unacceptable, it is uncivilized, and it's something that needs to stop.
Very well said. Well, thank you very much for coming on the show
you.
with
It's
us
my
today.
pleasure.
I mean, I've been thoroughly schooled. I need
you.
to go and brush up on my Nigerian history. I could barely keep
We
up.
all do. We're all still learning, yeah?
Well, thank you so much for
It's my
coming.
pleasure. Thank you very much. Yeah? Thanks.
Unfortunately, that's all we can take on this edition. If you would like to join the debate, please visit our website on www.nigerpundits.com. Leave a comment and let us know what you think about our show today. Till next time, when we meet again, have a lovely week. Take care. Bye-bye.